An event presentation to make it look and feel spectacular for the athletes and for their spectators, as we see Matthew Boling for the USA. So one change to their team from yesterday. They brought in Willington Wright on the third leg to replace Ryan Willie. There's Thomas Barr, who was absolutely loving life yesterday as Ireland set those two national records. There is Femke Bol, who came storming yesterday. It was the very first event we had yesterday. Feels like a long time ago. As Samuel Agazi on the outside prepares for Nigeria. All the teams, by the way, as we see, Cillian Green, who's had a great comeback.
Finish line. I think that's the most important thing, because if you're doing that too early, then she will not make it. So I think she did a very smart decision.
It's another national record for Ireland. They've taken nearly a second off what they produced yesterday. That's incredible. There's an African record in there for Nigeria as well. And of course, the records are relatively new, because this is a relatively new event. It's only been held once at the Olympic Games, but it's been slightly longer in its incarnation here at the World Athletics Relays. But Charlie Maudsley, what a weekend's work they have put in. Ireland have come here. They've got two teams on the way to Paris. They've got 3 national records, one superseding the other now. And they really have performed superbly against world-class opposition.
And we are really early in the season as well, so they can do a lot more, I think, in the end of the season. So it's great to start Ireland, I think.
And again, USA, savvy team selection there. They brought in some fresh legs into their team in the shape of Willington Wright, who really did make a big impact on that third leg and give Kendall Ellis enough of a buffer. She managed her effort brilliantly as well. And the Netherlands, remember, you can only make one team change in the mixed 4x4 from those who were fielded yesterday. Netherlands kept the same quartet, and they come home in second position, just ahead of Ireland. And it's USA, the world champions in this event. Just getting word through that Belgium have potentially been disqualified in this as well. They didn't have a great run at all, Belgium. They were out of contention for a long time. As we see the medal presentations, to some extent anyway, it's instant medals, as we call those, and the silver medals for the Netherlands, as we see in the background some of the athletes preparing for the next event. But Ireland, it's been really a weekend that has got the Irish fans purring about what might be possible at major events, because they've run a very good Dutch quartet, pretty close there. But in the end, USA held on comfortably.
But you can see that the Netherlands is a little bit disappointed about this. They would win. You can see it on their faces. They came for one thing and they didn't.
Well, let's have a look at how this race unfolded. The Netherlands, rather the USA, I should say, Matthew Boling it was, who was comfortably clear coming home in the first thing. Nigeria ran a good race as well for the first couple of legs. You can just see Cillian Green there working really hard for Ireland. Again, off the back of a hard run yesterday. But Adeleke, as you'd expect, ran a brilliant race, and she left Lika Klaver in the dust, really. Thomas Barr held his own, the Rio Olympic 4th placer over the hurdles, 31 years of age, and he kept Ireland right there until Charlie Maudsley was able to see them home in the top 3. The Belgians, keep an eye on them at the back here. The reason they are disqualified is because of this. Whoops. Miguel Camille Laus, who ran earlier on, wasn't able to get a second one into her legs. But this is that finish. Kendall Ellis using the big screen, which is quite useful. In some of the shorter events, not so useful, definitely. But when you're running at the 400 meters, you're just seeing what's going on behind her. It's like a nice wing mirror for her.
Yeah, but she's just pushing with her arms. You can see it, like just make big steps till the finish line. So that's one of the things that Femke Bol always doing as well. So I think that's one of the things to just keep moving, because if your arms are moving, your legs is also moving. So it's funny to see that most of the athletes on the end of the 400 meters are doing that.
Let me just give you a split that will be of interest. Rashida Adeleke, 48.45. Wow, that is unbelievable. Confirmation of a championship record and the title here in the Bahamas in the mixed 4x4 for the United States, ahead of a Femke Bol inspired.
The mixed 4x400 meters final at the 2024 World Athletics Relays in Nassau was a perfect example of why this event is so difficult to master. It combines male and female athletes, forces coaches to make strategic decisions about order, and turns every exchange into a potential advantage or disaster. The United States won in 3:10.73, setting a championship record. The Netherlands ran 3:11.45 for silver. Ireland produced a national record of 3:11.53 for bronze, and Nigeria set an African record of 3:12.87. The American victory was built around one major idea: create enough separation before the final leg. USA used Matthew Boling, Lynna Irby-Jackson, Willington, Wright, and Kendall Ellis. Wright replaced Ryan Willie from the qualifying round, giving the Americans a fresh option on the third leg. Boling's opening leg immediately put the United States in a strong position. The Americans reached the 400-meter split in 45.10, the fastest opening split of the final. In a mixed relay, the first leg is not only about raw speed. The runner has to manage the stagger, protect position, and deliver a clean handover. Boling gave Irby-Jackson exactly what the team needed: control without forcing the race. The Netherlands remained the biggest threat. Their quartet was Isaiah Boers, Lieke Klaver, Isaiah Klein-Ikink, and Femke Bol. They kept the same combination that had already run a championship record in qualifying, where they clocked 3:12.16. Ireland were also becoming the surprise story of the weekend. Cillin Green, Rasidat Adeleke, Thomas Barr, and Charlene Maudsley had already set a national record with 3:12.50. The second leg was one of the key individual battles, with Rasidat Adeleke, Lieke Klaver, and Lynna Irby-Jackson representing Ireland, the Netherlands, and USA. The Americans simply needed to keep their structure intact and hand the baton to Wright in a position where his fresh legs could make the difference. That decision proved decisive. Wright injected new energy into the third leg and expanded the American advantage. The substitution changed the physical profile of the race when fatigue was beginning to affect the other teams. He did not need to build an enormous lead. He simply had to make the advantage large enough for Kendall Ellis to manage. The Netherlands had the perfect weapon waiting on anchor: Femke Bol. Bol is known primarily for the 400 meters hurdles, but her flat 400 meters speed makes her one of the most dangerous relay anchors in the world. Her greatest strength is the final part of the race. While many runners lose posture and stride length as fatigue rises, Bol is capable of maintaining rhythm and continuing to generate speed. Once she received the baton, she began reducing the gap. Ellis had to resist the instinct to panic. She could not constantly look behind without damaging her mechanics. Instead, she maintained her rhythm and used the stadium screen to monitor the Dutch challenge. The final 100 meters became a battle between pressure and control. Bol continued coming forward, but Ellis had enough space. The American kept her arms active, maintained controlled steps, and refused to allow the Dutch anchor to get close enough for a direct sprint to the line. The result was USA 3:10.73, Netherlands 3:11.45, and Ireland 3:11.53. The United States beat the Dutch by 0.72 seconds, while Ireland finished just 0.08 behind the Netherlands. Ireland's performance deserves almost as much attention as the American victory. Their 3:11.53 was another national record, improving their qualifying mark by almost a second. Adeleke provided major speed on the second leg, Thomas Barr supplied experience on the third, and Maudsley had the difficult task of bringing the team home against elite opposition. For Ireland, this was a major statement. They had developed a quartet capable of challenging established nations and producing championship-level times. Their result also secured Olympic qualification. The race also showed how unforgiving relay regulations can be. Belgium were disqualified after a substitution issue involving an athlete who had already competed. A reminder that one administrative mistake can erase the work of an entire quartet. The United States avoided those problems and executed its plan almost perfectly. Boling created the platform, Irby-Jackson protected it. Wright delivered the crucial injection of fresh speed. Ellis managed the pressure. That sequence explains the championship record better than simply looking at the final time. The Netherlands used a different strategy. They trusted continuity and saved their biggest weapon, Femke Bol, for the anchor. It was an intelligent approach, and Bol nearly turned the race around. But the Dutch team had surrendered too much ground before she received the baton. That is the central tactical lesson from this final. The mixed 4x400 is not necessarily won by the fastest anchor. It is won by the team that creates the best conditions for its anchor. Ireland offered another model. Instead of relying on one superstar, they produced a balanced performance in which every leg contributed to the final result. Their reward was a national record and bronze. The championship record of 3:10.73 was therefore more than a fast time. It showed how tactical mixed 4x400 racing had become. Every leg and exchange mattered, and the winner was decided by how effectively four athletes were connected. In Nassau, the United States got that combination right. That was enough to hold off Femke Bol and the Netherlands, while Ireland delivered one of the breakthrough performances of the entire weekend.